of suburbia.
Oh, Eddie, is there anything you can't do? You take my very breath away, I swear. Look at this.
It was a subject both Johnny and Tim Burton knew well. Johnny also felt a kinship with his gentle, well-read co-star, film legend Vincent Price.
The three of them, Tim and Johnny and my dad, kind of connected. And Johnny once showed my dad a first edition Poe book that he had, and my dad then proceeded to recite the entire poem that was in the book. So I think there was a real sense of artistic exchange and camaraderie.
That's right. Go ahead, smile, it's funny.
Johnny was a saint making that movie, because wearing that suit and in the heat in Florida, I mean, it was 100 degrees, 100% humidity, and he had the wig on and thick, makeup, and the suit was really skin tight.
It was like being, I guess, how it must feel to be sort of handicapped, and like everybody would just sort of open doors for you and gives you something to drink, and are you okay?
Basing his performance on several dogs he'd had, Johnny brought wit and pathos to Edward Scissorhands, which also starred Depp's real-life fiancée, Winona Ryder.
We were both nervous before we started, but it's been going really well, and I think it's one of the best experiences I've ever had.
To have them falling in love through the movie as their characters are falling in love, it was really sweet.
I can't.
To the surprise of many, Edward Scissorhands became a mainstream hit. The 27-year-old actor had proved he was more than a teen idol. But Hollywood wasn't done typecasting. In 1990, Johnny Depp's stock in Hollywood was on the rise, but he refused to tone down his eccentric spirit. He continued living in hotels and using pseudonyms like Mr. Stench just for the pleasure of hearing himself paged.
He is completely unimpressed by the usual accoutrements of stardom. You won't see him in the Four Seasons bar carrying on with a whole bunch of people. He'll be with his pals. If he can find a pub, he'll be there.
Johnny's follow-up films, the offbeat comedies Arizona Dream and Benny and June, proved that Depp chose projects based on character, script, and filmmakers. Box office potential was low on the list.
Those choices were courageous on the one hand and kind of smart on the other. He really didn't have to worry much about whether or not they were box office successes, because it was too easy to understand why they wouldn't be. And so you couldn't say, well, it's because Johnny can't bring an audience into the theater.
But if Johnny was becoming a movie star to watch, his romantic life was in turmoil. His 3-year relationship with Winona Ryder crumbled under the weight of the high-powered careers that kept them apart and unrelenting press scrutiny.
They couldn't go anywhere, they couldn't do anything without speculation on who was cheating on who and who was seeing who, and that's partly, that experience partly is responsible for Johnny Depp's kind of distanced relationship with the media.
Johnny had one particularly painful souvenir of the failed relationship.
Johnny knew that he didn't want to live with Winona forever on his arm, so he had the N and the A taken off. And now it reads Wino forever, because he likes his wine, as he has said many times.
Johnny found an outlet for his pain in his next movie, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, a quirky drama about a family of outcasts. Depp starred as a young man stuck in a small town, caring for his 300-pound mother and mentally challenged brother, played by Leonardo DiCaprio. In true Big Brother fashion, Johnny affectionately tortured Leo.
Depp would pay Leonardo DiCaprio $5 to sniff an old rotten egg or something, just any kind of crazy thing, just for fun.
But the role also brought back memories of hard times with his own family.
The sense of this family being isolated and awkward, and he was playing into that. And it was a time when he was drinking very heavily and being very self-destructive. Family and friends actually started to say to him, you know, you're going down the wrong road here.
Tired of being hounded by paparazzi whenever he stepped out for a drink, Johnny opened his own club, the Viper Room.
The Viper Room was the place to hang out for young Hollywood. It was dark, it was small, it was cool, there were great musical acts there.
On Halloween night, 1993, Johnny was on stage, jamming with his friend Flea, bassist from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He had no idea a tragedy was unfolding just feet away. River Pheonix, the young star of movies like Stand By Me, was in the club. At 1 a.m., Pheonix staggered out onto the street and collapsed.
I got off stage and went out the door, and the paramedics were working on this young man, and I didn't know at the time that it was River.
River Pheonix had overdosed on drugs and died before reaching the hospital. A stunned Johnny shut down the club for 2 weeks and allowed River's grieving fans to set up a makeshift shrine outside. Depp was saddened by the senseless death and enraged by the sensationalized media coverage that surrounded it.
The media wouldn't let not only River rest, but they wouldn't let his family rest.
Johnny's favorite place of escape was now a magnet for ghoulish sightseers and for the paparazzi he despised. Once again, feeling hounded, Depp channeled his emotions into acting.
Really?